It starts with a feeling, a physical, nauseated gut reaction on Sunday night. The dread that creeps in, that tightness in your chest as you think about walking through those doors or now just logging on. That is the feeling of a toxic 9-to-5 job. It's not just a bad day or a difficult boss. It's a persistent, disruptive culture of negativity, doubt, and aggression that makes it impossible to function, let alone thrive. The defining feature, the one that consistently surfaces, is poor leadership. Leaders who lack accountability, who play favorites, who micromanage you into oblivion, or who communicate so poorly that you're left swimming in a sea of confusion and secrecy. This cascades into everything else. Suddenly, you're drowning in excessive workloads and unrealistic expectations, trapped in a constant state of urgency. Your hard work is expected but never acknowledged. You feel completely unsupported. Gossip, exclusion, and social undermining become the office's primary language. There's no room to grow, no autonomy over your own work. Your creativity is stifled. The boundaries between work and life dissolve into what's been called the infinite workday, where you're expected to be on call, answering emails late into the night, sacrificing your weekends. The clearest sign? Look at the door. High turnover isn't just a statistic, it's a silent scream from an organization in pain. The psychological toll of this environment is profound. It's not just in your head, it's a rewiring of your system. It begins with chronic stress. This isn't the motivating kind of pressure, it's a relentless emotional, physical, and mental exhaustion. The World Health Organization has a name for its endpoint: burnout, a state of complete energy depletion, a growing mental distance from your job, and a feeling that you're no longer effective at anything. This chronic stress is a direct pipeline to anxiety and depression. The constant pressure, the fear of being targeted, the sheer helplessness, it's a perfect storm for mental health crises. And it gets deeper. That prolonged stress actually impairs your brain, your ability to concentrate, to make decisions, to remember things. It all degrades. Think of it this way. The threat detection center of your brain, the amygdala, becomes hyper-aroused. It's constantly on high alert looking for the next threat from your boss or coworker. This state of alarm diminishes the functioning of your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that governs reasoning and emotional regulation. You're literally being forced to operate from a more primal, fear-based place. In the most extreme cases, this can trigger a response similar to post-traumatic stress disorder, leaving you with hypervigilance and emotional numbness. And because the 9-to-5 world often forces us to define ourselves by our jobs, when that job is toxic, it can trigger a full-blown identity crisis. Who are you if your professional value is tied to a place that makes you feel worthless? All of this distress follows you home, disrupting your sleep, which in turn pours gasoline on every other problem. And if this all feels deeply personal, you should know that you are far from alone. The data paints an astonishingly bleak picture. A recent Monster survey found that a staggering 80% of people described their workplace as toxic. 71% rated their mental health as poor or fair, with toxic culture being the #1 cause. The American Psychological Association found that employees in these environments are 3 times more likely to experience harm to their mental health on the job. This isn't just an emotional cost, it's a financial one. A toxic culture is the single biggest predictor of employee attrition, more than low pay or job insecurity. This exodus cost American businesses $223 billion over 5 years. When you factor in absenteeism and medical costs from workplace stress, that number balloons to an estimated $300 billion annually. People are voting with their feet. More than half of employees say they would rather quit than stay in a toxic job. Nearly a quarter would take a pay cut just to escape. You might think the shift to remote work would have fixed this. No office, no problem, right? Wrong. The toxicity didn't disappear. It just mutated. It moved online. Instead of whispers at the water cooler, it's public shaming in a virtual meeting or exclusion in a private Slack channel. The infinite workday has become even more insidious. with bosses bombarding you with messages at all hours, the digital leash tightening. New forms of toxicity have emerged. There's the online disinhibition effect, where people communicate more harshly behind a keyboard than they ever would face-to-face. Micromanagement has gone digital, with managers tracking your every click. Remote workers often feel isolated, excluded from informal conversations, and overlooked for opportunities. Digital harassment and cyberbullying are on the rise, and without face-to-face contact, it becomes harder to resolve conflicts and trust among team members erodes, leaving everyone feeling disconnected. The toxicity isn't gone, it just learned to code. So what can you do when you're trapped? While you wait for or work towards systemic change, you have to protect yourself. The first step is to establish ironclad boundaries. Adhere to your work hours. Turn off notifications. Take your full lunch break away from your screen. Learn to politely say no to demands that are outside your scope. Second, prioritize radical self-care, meditation, exercise, walks in nature. These aren't luxuries, they are survival tools. Create an after-work ritual that psychologically cleanses the day away, whether it's a hot shower or a call with a friend. Build your support system. Connect with trusted colleagues, friends, and family who can offer support without judgment. Knowing you're not alone in your experience is a powerful anchor. And critically, you must cultivate a resilient mindset. Remind yourself that a toxic environment is not a reflection of your worth. A powerful mental shift is to reframe your role from target to researcher. Observe the dysfunction from an intellectual distance. This can help you reclaim a sense of agency. And while you're coping in the present, quietly plan for your future. Update your skills, network, and have an exit strategy. Just knowing you have a plan can be a profound source of hope. Ultimately, individual resilience can only go so far. The real solution lies in transforming the workplaces themselves through leadership that models empathy, that fosters psychological safety where people can speak up without fear, and that holds people accountable for toxic behavior. But until then, your most powerful tool is knowledge. For job seekers, this means becoming a detective. Scour review sites like Glassdoor, but look for patterns. A string of negative reviews followed by a burst of generic 5-star ones is a huge red flag. Analyze the job description. Phrases like fast-paced environment or wear many hats or must handle pressure well are often code for overwork and poor boundaries. During the interview, ask targeted questions. What happens when someone makes a mistake? The answer will tell you everything about their level of psychological safety. Can you tell me why the last person in this role left? Vague answers are a warning. Escaping a toxic job isn't giving up. It's an act of profound self-preservation. It's choosing your health, your sanity, and your future over an environment that demands their sacrifice. A better, healthier way to work isn't just a fantasy. It's a standard you deserve to have.